Hello there everybody, this is Exo once again, and I just wanted to go over a video explaining the process of picking parts again. Or, well, not again, but for a PC. As I was doing research, I could never find one that worked well, so I figured why not make one right here, right now, to explain it well. Well, anyways, let's start off with the CPU. As you can see here, I have the Intel i7 4790 pulled up. According to most experts, you should always start with picking out the processor. Mainly because it really starts how much you're limited when it comes to what parts you pick. For instance, here you have the socket type right here, the LGA 1150 socket. Now, this not only limits our board selection down, but since it's an Intel, it will only work with with a board that supports an Intel core of that particular socket. AMD and Intel have completely different backs, so do not expect to be able to make them work in a board for the other. Now, getting on to the next point of interest. We want to go straight to the board, which I'll bring up right now. I'm going to go use the Asus Sabertooth Z97 Mark II. I think it's a Z97, I may be wrong. Well, there's the Mark I. Hang on. Is this it? Yeah, that is. Okay. Okay. Now, getting back to this little script I have, because I really didn't want to go off topic. And one thing I forgot to mention is that this video is not going to be an ad or anything, it's just to explain the process. Okay. Now, here is the main compatibility points to bring up when it comes to a motherboard. It can limit how many video cards you have. As you can see here, these very long slots you see here, these are PCI Express, well, not PCI. It's PCI 16 slots, which is why they're so long. The size of the board will affect your case. For instance, in this particular instance, well, you're going to want a mid-tower case. It's just to fit this board. However, we're not going to get into the tower just yet. There's some more parts to explain there. It limits the amount of ROM you can have, which is what goes in this very long section down here in the middle of the screen. Those 4 slots right there are where you stick the ROM. They're the DIMM slots. It not only limits how many sticks of ROM you can have, but it limits how much the sticks can total to, and how fast they can be. For instance, this one is DDR3, and it could be anywhere from 1866 to 160 or 133, which I'll bring up again later. However, it doesn't say how much ROM you need exactly, so to get that, we have to go into the specifications. Let's see. Maximum memory supported, 32 gigabytes, as you can see right here. Here in the highlighted section. Now, that's not it either. There's a little bit more to go. As you can see here, oh yeah, I am right. It's PCI Express 3.0s. There's 2 of them. Anyways, getting straight back into it. it can hold a total of 6 SATA devices, which is your DVD drives, your hard drives, SSDs, hot swap bay, whatever. Anything that connects through SATA. And it also tells you how fast the headers are on the board, which is 6 gigabytes per second. Okay. Now I need to bring up the ROM. DDR3. I'll just go with this for now. And, well, this doesn't really matter much, but you still want to make it compatible. So there are 3 things that matter when it comes to compatibility. The DIMM slot type it goes in, as mentioned before, it's DDR3 up to 32 gigabytes. The speed, which for the board I mentioned before was 1866, 16,1333. Wait, did I get that wrong? Oh well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone who's an expert. Because I'm not an expert, so do not trust everything I'm saying. I'm just going to give you the basics. And really, there's a lot of choices to pick when it comes to the ROM, and according to most experts, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. However, most motherboards, like in the case of the board I mentioned, come with a little manual. And one little cool thing about this manual is that it actually comes with a list of ROM types that will work with the board, and it comes with the item number, so if you're using a site like Newegg here, you can literally just type in the item number, and it will bring it up for you. But that last part is optional. Okay, now, video card. I'm just going to bring one up just to show you what I'm going to talk about here. This is purely optional, and it will affect how big your case is, because the size of the card itself can really affect your case, surprisingly. And I'm not going to get into like CPU coolers or anything else like that. I'm just going for the basics. Okay, so let's bring up, say, a MSI GTX 970. I'm just bringing one up for an example so I can show you where in the specifications you can check to see if the card will fit in your case. You'll have to do some measuring, but oh well. Let's see. The specs tend to come with the dimensions of the card. And as you can see here, there's a lot of specs here that you can see very well. And pardon me, my browser is being a little, you know what. Glad I'm doing this in a sort of different kind of situation where it won't freeze the video. Because as you can see down here, there's, oh, there we go. Hang on, it's still giving me some issues. Anyways, as you can see here, it comes with a list of specs. The part you really want to look for when it comes to making sure that it'll fit in your case. Oh, and actually it does tell you how much power it will consume. And it does give you a recommended power supply unit, which is a good thing. Let's see. Card dimensions, right here. As you can see, it's 10 inches long and 5 inches tall. So, well, actually, you can go ahead and say that's 11 and 6. So you can check to make sure that the card will fit in your case. And, yeah. Okay, next up is the power supply. I'm just going to bring up a Roswell Hive 750. Now, let's get straight to... No, it doesn't matter. It was the first one that came up. Ooh, it's on sale. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. Anyways, getting straight to the power supply. Now, this part matters just as much as the processor. If you cheap out and go under the needed power levels, guess what? When you try to turn on your PC for a test run, you fry all the parts. I know that sounds scary. It is kind of a scary thing to think about, because it doesn't stop there on how bad this can be. Because if you think that the PC or the parts manufacturers are going to cover the warranty, guess what? Going under and frying a part will actually void the warranty. So you want to go you can go well above the power supply recommended levels, and trust me, you don't have to worry much there. It will actually only draw as much power as the PC itself needs. So let's get straight to the points to consider. Will it power your PC? You can find PC power calculators. For instance, if you see up here, I have Cooler Master power supply calculator pulled up. Go for multiple power supplies just to check to see if it will work. Or, multiple calculators just to see if it will work. 2, is it modular? And really, you can actually check to see if it's modular, semi-modular, or non-modular. However, this one says it's modular, even though... Well, actually, I think... Yeah, as you can see in this picture, there's actually some cable... Oh, I can't really get a good zoom on it. Here, let's see if I can pull this up. As you can see in this picture right here, it is not actually fully modular. It is actually semi-modular, which is a good thing to know. Meaning, do not trust the specs all the time when it comes to if it's modular or not. You'll have to make sure that it is by looking at the pictures. Another thing to know, it'll also say continuous or peak whenever you're picking a power supply. Now, this matters just as much as making sure that the processor will fit in the socket. And I'm going to sum it up just like this. It will either say it's an active power supply, or, continuous power supply, or peak power supply. As you can see, this one says continuous. And, oh shoot, I hit a wrong button. And you can see it's relatively cheap and semi-modular. Sounds like a good buy. Yeah, it is, in my opinion. I have yet to see if it actually is. Now, here's the reason why you don't want to pick a peak power supply unit. If you do, it'll have the same effect as going under the recommended power supply levels. You'll fry your computer. Which is why nobody really buys a peak power supply. Unless you actually know how much power it actually supplies. Now, lastly, this tends to matter due to if it will all fit in the case, as we are going for the case next. Now, if you listened to me before, you know this relies on the board, which is an ATX, But storage, disk drives, video card, and even power supply factor in. But this is the hard part. I can't guarantee it will fit. And to bring up an example, let's go with the APEVA X Dreamer 4. But the case for the board... seems I have kind of... Oh, I forgot the D. Hang on. The case for the board, in this case, needs to be a mid-tower case or a full tower case. And really, you can check in the specs, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the APEVA X4 Dreamer, which I'm actually after and kind of have minor issue trying to find apparently, well, it is a mid-tower case. It's rather well cheaping out, but oh, that's nice. They added some unique ones. Oh wait, no, those are just actual computers. Anyways, if you use this video to pluck out parts, keep in mind I'm not an expert. Now, before I finish this video, I want to bring up the case, but I can't seem to find it. I wonder if Newegg stopped carrying the case or something. I don't know. I may be misspelling the name for all I know. Oh well. Let's see, X Dreamer 4. That's a Dreamer 2. Yeah, I don't think they... Okay, here, let me just bring up APEVA.com just to show you the case. The case itself is actually a very nice pick. As you can see, it's labeled mid-tower, so it's labeled appropriate here. Where is it? Dreamer 4, here we are. As you can see, they have multiple cases, and the one to the left, the Cruiser 3, actually has 3 different gauges in it. So yeah. Oh, as you can see here, they have added one without the fan in the side. However, this is the case we're going to be using, the green one. The reason why is because I actually have one sitting next to me right now. Now, as you can see, it comes with a space labeled drive space, has a hot swap, has a hidden area, and has a mounting point in the bottom for a 2.5 drive. So you can see all the details for drive space here. It can hold up to an 11x12 motherboard, meaning it'll fit the motherboard I mentioned before just well. And you can actually see more details, including how many fans it has. It can have up to 7. Well, actually, it can have up to 8 if you remove the fan on the side, which is the big fat one. The 200mm. Anyways, I picked this one because it had, well, as you can see here, an LCD temperature display. And you can see the dimensions here as well. meaning you can make sure that a video card will fit in there. Dimensions, width, height. So yeah. Anyways, yes. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell me if I'm at all wrong, because this is the first video I've actually had to write a script for to make sure I stay on track. And in fact, I actually have the script open right here, which is kind of why I wasn't looking at the camera the entire time. I'll just save this in case I have to make revisions. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. This has been Exa out.